Hello guys, this is Vaibhav. So today we have with us Mr. Ankit Parekh. He is the director of Imaginative Identity. He's an IIT alumnus, with a major in design. And today he runs an IT company in Udaipur, II Creator. So Ankit, welcome to this video. How are you?
I'm good, Vaibhav, and thanks for inviting me for this call.
Thank you. Ankit, so the agenda of this call is I want to paint a picture of IT industry, what it is, what is the scope of growth, how can an individual grow in an IT industry, and I would really want to hear it from you. Anna. So before we begin, matlab this would be centered around job seekers. What could they do to get their foot in the door? How can they grow? If you have any tips, tricks for people to grow in this industry as job seekers, so please share that with us. Anna. So we'll begin.
Yeah.
With. Can you give us an overview of? A lot of times we hear, IT industry. TCS is an IT industry. We see a lot of different IT companies out there. So can you give us an overview of what all does IT industry encompass? What are the different sectors?
So, so at the top in the hierarchy, I think we can divide an IT industry into a product industry and a service industry.
Okay.
So basically, these two divisions are the work culture, the type of tasks which are given to the developers, and the way the tasks are deployed or developed completely depends upon the industry is a product industry or a service industry. So firstly, I would like anyone to understand what differences are there in terms of a service industry or a product industry. Secondly, in terms of a developer, what I believe a tech industry is something in which you are given some task and you develop things using some kind of coding, right? The coding can be again divided into a front end and a back end. Front end basically is something which is directly visible to the end user, the end customer,
Okay.
right? And the technologies used to develop front end, again, is completely entirely different than the technologies used to develop the back end part.
Okay.
Uh, I think, Vaibhav, we can start with some precise questions. You can directly ask those questions. I would like to just give a
So,
brief about.
so what is? Let me ask this way. What is front end?
So if you ask me about the front end is something which the end user directly interacts with. So
Okay.
it could be a website, the web page you view on your screen. We
Okay.
can the thing those the portal, we can say it's a front end development part, which the main interaction with the end customer, it's the front end part. The
Okay.
main logical things. Yeah.
Right. And back end. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, backend. So the main logical part, the databases, how the databases are stored, what all manipulations we do with the database to give a some kind of a calculation, some notifications. So all those logical part is being handled by a code which are stored in the server side. So basically, one thing is front end runs on our browser, on our system itself, and the backend runs on the server of the company of the product which you are using. So let's say Facebook, the website which you see on your system, those codes run on your browser itself, but the logical part, the notification part, what data will the user see, those logical those logical algorithms, you can say the logical code, you can say those codes are stored on the server itself of the Facebook. So those code are, we can basically say it's a backend part.
Right. So what you intend to say is how it looks and feels is the front end part of it, and how it works is the back end part of it.
Correct,
Right.
correct,
I
correct.
remember this picture that I saw on LinkedIn somewhere. So there was this example of a restaurant wherein the food was getting prepared in the kitchen, and the restaurant was their ambience, and then there were waiters. So how they described it was the back end is the food, how it is prepared, front end is the ambience of the restaurant, and waiters are actually the APIs that call between the front end and back end. So I think I'll
Amazing, amazing analogy. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
right, perfect. Thank you, Ankit, for helping us understand that. Can you tell us more about how does an IT company work? So so TCS is a big company, right? Right. And then you see a lot of product companies out there. Can you briefly outline, as in, how do IT companies typically work? What roles and functions are there? If I am a job seeker, so what all roles are there? Of course, so support functions are there, software developer is there, sales is there. So if you could briefly touch upon that, what all functions are there and who all can think about working in an IT company?
So, Weber, what I'll do is I'll start with the development process of an IT company. And during the development process, I'll try to break down different roles for a particular developer, a tester, or a designer. I
Okay,
think that will
sure.
help us eke out the differentiation. So basically, how does a company work? IT company works is a task is given to the main stakeholder. So let the task could be to develop a particular product. For a product company, a task could be to develop a particular feature which is not there, but the user want those features. So we have a problem statement in our hand, right? So once the problem statement could be a very high level in a generic English language problem statement. So something like in Facebook, I want to get a feature in which we want uh, people who are posting spams or fake news on the portal itself, right? So that we have a problem statement, right? So once the problem statement is there, there are people who will analyze the problem statement, understand the business rule of it, create some business logic around it, have a workflow design around it, how the user will begin with the starting point, the end point. So we call this workflow. So workflow, business logic, uh, different stakeholders, persona creation, how a user will interact with it. So these part are handled by a BA, which is a business analyst who understand the business, who knows what things needs to be taken care of, who will write all the use cases, alternate use cases, exceptional use cases, those kind of a thing. So BA is a person who know about the industry, who understand the business, who also understand what all things can be developed, who understand the use cases, who understand the workflow. So this part is done by the BA. Once BA part is done, like we have a proper documentation around the workflow, the business rules, the exceptional cases, then this documentation is given to a design team in general, a design team. So a designer, designer skills could be a UX UI designer. UX means user experience design. UI is user interface design, right? So UX UI design, what this particular designer will do is he takes the documentation, understand what the actual requirement is, create a proper workflow according to the design language of the system, and then finally gives the output of a user interface screenshots. It could be a clickable prototype, it could be general screenshot, it could also be a paper pencil sketching drawing. So
Right.
this final documentation provided by the UX designer or UI UX designer is then given to the developer along with the documentation of the business analyst. Then the developers could be, there could be two developers, there could be three types of developers. So again, as you mentioned, front end and back end part, right? So the design part is taken by the front end developer, and the logical or the business rules part, which is documented by the BA, and also having the understanding of the UI UX, is given to the back end developer. So backend developer, what backend developer does is creates all the logic behind the business rules, and the front end developer is takes the design, the mockups developed by the designer, and create those part on his side. Now the front end part and the back end part is completely separated. They don't have any interlinking between themselves right now, right? So what the interlinking part is done by the API, which is again developed by the backend developer, right? So API part is developed by backend developer. The documentation is given to the front end developer, and those interactions are implemented by the front end developer itself. So once this development part is completed, again, now we have a development process in place. Now this code needs to be deployed at some server itself, right? So that the people can access publicly. Now this particular thing is done by the DevOps people, which is again I think a very hyped market right now. It's charming market right now. Good paying salary jobs are created in the DevOps skills. So DevOps basically means deploying a particular code which is developed by the developers, do some automation testings. So DevOps is basically a philosophy which comes in place so that all the automation part or the deployment part is not done by a separate team, which was done like previously. So the backend developer, the front end developer, and the deployment team is itself a interactive team within themselves. So they create a DevOps strategy to deploy all the code on the server side. So to deploy a code on the server side, there are multiple phases in between. One is the most important phase, which is a testing phase. So a tester is also required. So BA and then designer, front-end developer, back-end developer, and then comes the tester part and the DevOps team. Right? So these are the skills to begin with, the problem statement, then designing, creating business rules, then developing the front-end, back-end, interaction between the APIs integration by the front-end developer, then comes the testing part. Again, the testing could be again divided into multiple phases. There are lots of different domains in testing itself, but let's skip that part. Yeah, so there will be a tester and there will be a DevOps team. So this is I think more or less, this is the overview, high level overview of the development life cycle. And these are the different stakeholders which comes in between.
Right. Okay, two follow-up questions here, Ankit. First, so let's say if somebody's goal is just to make money, somebody who's a fresher out of college, which technology do you think, what's your favorite pick? What should he do?
Nowadays, JavaScript frameworks are like, they are the go-to technology should start with JavaScript. So by JavaScript frameworks, I mean React Native frameworks. So these are something which is like most of the companies are currently changing their product from old technologies to React Native, and the Node as in backend. So learning just JavaScript at the beginning and then moving towards learning React Native, and Node.js, which I think will be very easy to get a good job, high paying salary jobs in India right now.
Fantastic. Again, one more question on that. So let's say if somebody has zero experience in anything, someone just wants to start starts learning and to get into an IT industry. What are some resources that you'll suggest that he should probably learn from so that he gets a foot in the door? So what could be some good resources?
Yeah, definitely. So I do understand there are lots of resources online, but identifying the best resources should be the main concern. See, Udemy, there are lots of courses on Udemy, which I prefer. So React and React Native courses on Udemy are something which everyone should learn who are inclined towards learning JavaScript frameworks. There's this website called, I think, freecodebase.com or .org. In that, they already have a path for a developer. They're starting from HTML, CSS, the basic for any web developer, and then moving towards JavaScript, basic JavaScript, and then getting into the frameworks of JavaScript. So I would say for any job seeker, start with learning the basics. You could learn basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript anywhere. They are more or less the same. But for React Native, I would prefer go with Udemy courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Ankit. So, Ankit, a lot of times we hear a lot of buzz around US IT industry. Mein ye ho raha hai. This is happening in US IT industry. How does that affect IT? First of all, how do you separate the two, US IT industry? Because IT, as I understand it, it's on the cloud. So how is US IT industry different from Indian IT industry? Second, how does one affect the other in a very broad sense?
So initially, like around 2014 or 2015 time, there were lots of differences between the Indian IT industry work culture, the way the strategies were taken ahead with the development team. But nowadays, after the startup culture in India, the Indian IT industry or the US industry, they are more or less, they work in the same way. We have already taken up all the better standards of development from the US industry itself, and actually we are developing very good products in Indian industries now. So I don't think there is a difference in the way that things are developed in India or in US. But in terms of interdependency, I don't think there's a lot of difference, because more or less the IT industry is same over the world. And I think that's the only industry which have the same kind of standards around the world. But if you take government as an example, I would like, because I work with government projects nowadays. Government is actually spending good amount of money, and they are actually concerned about the standard or the user experience they want to give to their citizens. That's the main domain which India is lagging behind right now. Other than that, if you talk about private industries, private Indian IT industries, I don't think there is any standard development standard differences with US industries.
Okay. So the myth that I want you to take your call in is, so I have heard it a lot of times that the US IT industry is essentially product-based companies and Indian IT industries is mostly service-based industry. Now I'll couple it with the thing that you said earlier, that there is a product company and a service company. So I want you to explain. So do you agree to this thing that, Indian IT companies, a lot of companies are out there are IT service companies, or a major portion of them are, and how is working for a product company different, than working for a service company?
So the main difference is when I say product company and service company, the product company is the company which have already developed a platform. So let's say Facebook. So Facebook, it's a product company because all the developers are working for Facebook. Facebook as a business product, right? In a service company, it basically means a company which is providing IT solutions to other companies. So in the end, they will be developing a particular product which will be used by the customers of another company, right? But when I'm a developer of a particular service company, I will be working on different types of products. So I will be getting I need to have some knowledge of different industry types. So let's say for particular this year, I was assigned a project of a credit card company. So I need to understand the basic business rules of a credit card company, with their standard of DevOps, their backend development strategies. If I am working with the team of theirs, so I need to understand how the team management works, how their coding structure works. So each and every project in a service industry would be different with each other, right? And I will be getting lots of knowledge while working in a service industry because I am working in different kind of domains. But in a product industry, there will be a specific product which we will be working on. There will be a specific standard which we'll be working on, and there will be little leniency as compared to service industry, because in service industry, the timeline is given by the client and the whole business depends upon them, right? But in the product industry, there definitely there will be a timeline. There will be some time. There will be some escalations. But again, if I compare on an average, if I compare a service industry with the product industry little lenient, laid back kind of a, it's basically chill type company बोल सकते हैं product थोड़ा सा lifestyle और chill हो जाती है. ज़्यादा skills जो हम सीखने को in terms of domain जो सीखने को मिलती है वो service में ज़्यादा मिलती है. Again, it completely depends upon आप कौन सी company में in which company you are working with.
Right. But
yeah,
in
more or less, in general, you get to learn a lot of things in the service industry.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Ankit. One more thing. So, how do you think pandemic has affected IT industry?
It has specifically for job seekers. I say so for job seekers, they now understand the balance between their lives, like living their lifestyles, and so they now understand the clear difference between doing a job, working for something, and also balancing this with their own lifestyle. That's the first thing. Second part, I think most of the industries, specifically US, Europe side, they are now open to work from home culture, which was initially little, they were not known for. They usually prefer to their employees to come to their office and then do the things. So work from home culture is now a thing. It's actually a thing now, and I think most of the IT industry in India also would like to give jobs in work from home philosophical way. So that's the main impact which I think this particular COVID scenario has given to the job seekers. what this basically means is if you are living in a tier 2, tier 3 city, I think now you can easily get a good job from Fortune 500 companies, even if you are sitting in any small city. So opportunities are limitless now. They have lots of opportunities. They just need to showcase their skills to the company itself. So I think that's the main I think the main opportunity which COVID has given to the job seekers.
Right. So what you're trying to say is that the opportunities are limitless now for anyone based out of any, right? This has completely changed how IT industry works. Do you think you mentioned work from home? Do you think work from home is here to stay, or do you think this will phase out in the next 1 to 2 years?
So there will be definitely work from home is here to stay, no doubt in that. But there are always pros and cons of anything, right? So work from home, definitely there are lots of positive things which it brings. But in terms, what I believe should be the work culture is a mix of both work from home and working from office itself. The main reason, the main negative point of work from home is that you don't meet with your colleagues. So when you are working in an office during lunchtime or during break times, you get to interact with lots of smart minds near you, which are working in your company, right? So there are lots of ideas, lots of discussion around the technologies, new developments. So those things are now missing in work from home culture, which somewhat I don't know. It's something like your peers, your smart peers, which were readily available for you in your office, are now won't be available for you while you're working from your home, right? So that's the thing. So you need to have some balance between work from home and working from office culture. So for your question, yeah, work from home is here to stay, no doubt on that. But there will also be some model hybrid model, like a week from work from home, and then 3 weeks at office, some hybrid model.
Right. I completely agree with what you're saying, Ankit. So I feel that attrition has increased a lot because of work from home, because the social structure that was there, that binded the whole team together, used to have birthday celebrations or some parties. Now those are not happening. So the negative impact has been that a lot of people, crave for that social bond that is there, that social framework that is there when you're working from office. So that has completely been, taken off. So this somehow affects attrition, the engagement level that employees have with their companies. So again, mixed opinions on that, how that is going to pan out in the next 2 to 3 years. Right. Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about jobs. So for example, if somebody is willing to start, work in an IT company, how can he apply? How can he get selected for a job? Are there some specific websites that you would like to suggest, or anything that you would like to suggest?
Yeah, there are definitely. So the most important part are the referral system, which most of the companies are using right now. Right. So he can start with if his friend or his friend's friend is working in a particular company which he's interested in, definitely he or she can start with contacting that person. That's the first session which I would like to give. Second is having a resume and having an account on the most top 5 website, Hirect, Hirist, Naukri.com is the second important thing which I would suggest a job seeker to have.
Okay.
Having a good GitHub portfolio is also important at least for me. I would like to have to see some repositories of a developer which he has created on his own. If he is a fresher, I would like to see some development he has done on his own, some his home projects. That's again something which he or she should have if he is starting off, like he's a fresher right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fantastic, Ankit. So, guys, I have already mentioned Ankit is the director for AI Creators. It works on designing and developing digital experiences for companies, and skilled in business analytics and UX designing. So, Ankit, I would want to ask a specific question to you. If some were to apply to AI Creators, how can they apply to AI Creators?
So we are a very open company. If they want to apply to AI creators, they can directly visit our website. There's a contact form there. There are numbers, directly mobile number of mine available on the website itself. They can drop an email with their resume on founders@iactors.com.
Okay.
Secondly, as we know, like we are partnered with you, they can directly contact Zixo anytime, because we always trust Zixo on hiring people, smart people for AI creators. So, and we are also on Hirect, Hirist, Naukri.com. So,
Right.
for any open position, they can always visit our website. They can directly email to our founder's email ID. The second best option is Zixo. So definitely
Right.
they can directly.
Thank you. I'm glad that you mentioned it, Ankit. Okay. In general, what do you think, for someone who's just starting in IT industry, what do you think lies ahead in the next 5, 10, 20 years? What do you see ahead?
So one thing, Vaibhav, in IT industry, no one can say what will happen in next 2 years. It's such a dynamic industry. Even for a developer, he needs to be up to date with the latest technologies, latest trends.
Right.
Secondly, what I believe with my recent research on this metaverse, cryptocurrency, and blockchain, I think this is something which will definitely be a next big shark kind of a thing for next 3 to 4, 5 years. Big data, which used to be a hotspot in around 2014, is there, but it did not get so much limelight in last 5 years. So I think that it also something which will be there, will be a good thing to work upon, sharpen your skills in big data. These two things, which I think will be there for next 5 to 10 years, definitely, without a doubt. So blockchain and this big data.
Big data. So what I'll put it in a different perspective. So software developers have always enjoyed, 2-digit growth, right, in their career. So do you think this trend is going to be there for the next decade as well?
Definitely. So this decade, which I believe is definitely a golden period for India, no doubt in that. IT industry is going to shine for this particular decade, no doubt. Definitely, without a doubt.
Chalo. Fantastic, Ankit. It was wonderful to have you here. Anything else that you would like to share? Any last comment that you would like to share?
Nothing, just one thing for all the job seekers. The IT industry is a shining industry for this decade. Just just sharpen your skills as much as possible. Explore all the things. Everything is available online. I would just say you can always apply to AI creators. Always explore opportunities in IT industry. There are lots of things to learn in IT industries. And best of luck to all the job seekers who are exploring for jobs in IT industries.
Take care. Thank you, Ankit, for this wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you.